Hey, good afternoon, and welcome back to my podcast about games and education. Happy 2025. So happy to be back. Brought to you, of course, by our lovely Level Up Education Consulting. And today I want to talk about games and education, the practical use, right? And I want to tell you some stories from a classroom. So last month, I have been working in Oakdale, Washington. I was invited down to teach for a friend of mine who had to leave suddenly, but I get to be there for a month. So brought to you by Dr. Jake Dingman. Now, if you don't know Dr. Jake Dingman, you should, because he is wonderful and he is lovely. And here's what he said to me out loud and in person. I said, Dr. Dingman, I want to try some things. He said, Tammy, you have my permission to try anything. Don't even have to run it by me. And I have to tell you, when he said it, I smiled at him and he said, and very much I'm aware who I'm saying this to and what the implications are. So I thought, okay, here we go. So here's my classroom, or my substitute classroom, thank you. So I just want to say it's been lovely to be in classes again with kids. And when you're in classes with kids, I think, okay, I've been talking about this game thing seriously for some time. So now I get to be back in a classroom, and all these things that I think I've learned, I get to practice them. So I want to tell you some stories. And all the names of the kids have been changed. Now, what's really fun is when I told the kids, hey, I want to talk about you on a podcast, they all said, oh, no, Tammy, use our name. And I said, kids' names, not so much. So the kids' names have been changed. But I did promise them that when I told their story, they should recognize themselves if they ever heard this podcast. Not that they would ever listen, but here we are. So I'm going to start with an 8-year-old little boy whose name is Timothy. So Timothy comes to me. And we're working on math skills, right? We're looking on money counting and just counting, and working on teens and 20s and counting to 100 and those kind of things, right? And I got to tell you, Timothy comes with, I know you can't picture this from an 8-year-old, but a little bit of I'm not really sure I want to do this, right? And of course, I'm new to Timothy, right? So there's that too. But Timothy comes in, and I start by thinking about math games. And so what I do is we play a dice game, right? Any dice game. And what I love is that what Timothy is doing is he's counting all the numbers on the dice, right? So now we have the counting, that we're doing. But then I bring up another game, and this game is, and I will screw it up, and I screw it up every day, and he corrects me, thank goodness. But I think it's called Open the Box. And basically all it is I've got a number 1 through 10. I've seen this game, by the way, since I was a kid. I've got numbers 1 through 10 on these wooden things that flip down or flip up. And I roll 2 dice, and whatever I roll, like let's say I roll an 8, I can put down the number 8. I can put down a 7 and a 1. I can put down a 5 and a 3, right? And the idea is whoever gets all their numbers down first wins. Well, what I love about this is Timothy comes in almost every day now and says, can we play that game? And what I love is to watch his reasoning skills grow, not only in counting, but with reasoning. Like, should I put down a 3 and a 1, or should I put down the 4? Or should I put it? And it's really fun to watch him, because he'll look and he'll roll the numbers. And at first I noticed that Timothy, if he rolled a 5 and a 3, he'd just put down the 5 and the 3. But what happens is, as the game plays on, right, and we do this a couple days in a row, now all of a sudden he'll see the 5 and 3 and go, I can't hardly ever put down the 8, so I'm going to put down the 8. And what I love about Timothy is he will talk to me. He'll just talk me through it. Like, he will talk to me about what he's doing and how he's reasoning. And it's fun. And it's fun to play with Timothy, right? And sometimes there are 4 sides, of course, to a square. For those of you that didn't know that, just checking. So what I love is that sometimes Timothy and he'll play 2 and I'll play 2. And it's just bloody fun. And then when we were working on some reasoning skills, like, consequential thinking, or what the state calls computational thinking, and how to do things in a row, like a computer would, I brought in a little car. And the car it's battery operated, but it doesn't run, right? You don't program it on a computer. What they have is these little blocks that have colors. And what they do is you put down a color, and every color makes the car do something. It'll make it turn right, it'll make it turn left, or it'll make it turn sideways or diagonally, or one of it makes it just wheel around. And what I loved is that Timothy comes in and he sees the car. And I love this part about kids, right? I said, hey, let me show you. He goes, you don't need to show me. I can figure this out. And he was right. He puts it down. And when it wouldn't go, all of a sudden he figured out if it's not on a green square, it will not go. Right. And then after he made it go, some of them would make it turn left, but he would have the next square in front of it. So all of a sudden he's shifting. I've never seen, it was just impressive to watch him just reason through this whole thing all over the floor. It's great. So I want to tell you some more stories, from the classroom. So I have a young lady in my classroom, sixth grader. She's lovely. And I will call her Lori. That's not her name. But Lori comes in, and let me just tell you, Lori is the cutest little thing on the planet, but she hates to write. She hates to write. She hates to write. And oh my gosh, she will do it begrudgingly. So when she first comes in, of course, I'm just getting to know kids. She comes in and she's, oh God, you can imagine. So then I go home and I'm looking for some games. I might have a selection of about 300 games in my home. Don't tell anyone because I get judged. But I bring a game called Venn. It's about Venn diagrams, and it's called Venn Between Friends or something. Venn with benefits. That's what it's called. And it's a party game. So I'm going to just tell you something. I went through all the cards you can imagine. I took out all the ones that were, party related or inappropriate for a sixth grade classroom. So Lori comes in and we start playing this Venn game. And here was my favorite thing about that game. She comes in and me, I'm looking at two things, let me just give you an example. The circus and my parents. That might be the two things I'm supposed to, write. And at first you write, I'm just making a list. And any of them that you get down that the people playing don't have, you get a point for that, and you rack up the points, whatever. And you know what I love about scoring in games with kids? You already won. Who cares what the score is? Because what you're trying to do is engage kids in a fun way to do. And what I loved about this, Lori, is after that, everything she wrote out on, and we were doing it on whiteboards. Okay, whiteboards, a little black marker, a little black eraser. And she was writing full sentences. And you know how you look and I think, I don't write full sentences. I'm just writing words down of the things they have in common. Nope, she would write complete sentences. And I thought, and we win, right? Do I care what the score is? No, because you know what? This child is now writing complete sentences to explain to me what she means by all of these things, right? Loved it. So Venn with benefits. That's the name of that game. Okay, and then another, this is so fun. So it's like going to work every day. Don't tell Dr. Dingman that you go to work every day and you just get to play. You just get to play and you get to figure things out together, right? So I have a couple kids in there, and we're kind of looking. I'm kind of looking at their math skills and reasoning skills, and we start playing this game called Uno, which is really fun. But I gotta be honest with you, it got a little intense. I don't know if you know this, but teenagers can get intense about games, like it matters or something. I don't know, make me laugh. But then we graduated to skip bow, right? Because now we're doing numbers and colors, and then you can do additive cards if you have to draw. It's just lovely. It's lovely to watch how teenagers think. Another class was a coding class. So I had Minecraft, and you guys know this. Minecraft is used to teach everything. And so I had Minecraft downloaded. And what I love about Minecraft is kids are learning, but they don't really connect it to learning. So we had Minecraft put in this coding class. Kids come in and they're like, we really don't like coding, but we like this. And it's like they don't know that there's no difference, right? Because when you're in Minecraft, not only are you coding, but you are communicating. I loved it. There were 4 kids. And what I love about Minecraft is crazy stuff comes up. So you have 4 kids and they're all, right? They're all playing in the same world. And they're talking about, one young man says, hey, I need more llamas. And another kid says, don't you know how that's done? Right. And I say, but now I look, and of course, I'm a science teacher, and I say, you want to talk about this scientifically? And he goes, the kids are all like, no, we don't want to talk about it. That's funny to me. They're just hilarious. So anyway, so we got to do some Minecraft and coding and Minecraft and critical thinking and working on communication and this is my very favorite part, collaboration across the board. And here's what I love about it. And I realize this class only had like 11 students in it, but I will tell you that when this kid over here is struggling and going, hey, I went into a cave, but I don't really know how to build those, and I don't know what's going on. Kid from across the room will get up, walk over, and help him from behind him. And he'll say, this is how you do this. And I think, you know what? You can't make this stuff up. Like when you want to get kids to work together, it's fabulous. They will do it around games. It's amazing. So I only have a few more minutes, so I want to tell my last story. And this is a kid, and I will call him D. That's not his name. But what I love about D is he's very thoughtful, but he doesn't like schoolwork. Right? And not to be rude, who does, right? But one day I say to him, there's this game out there, right? And let me think of what it's called, because I got to tell you, I was introduced to it, and it's like, it has something to do with you're in a cauldron and you've got a pickaxe, and people will know what this is. And I'm sorry, I should have memorized the name, but I'd never seen it before. And what's really interesting is I said to him, this is all math and physics. And he says, really? And so then I said, would you show me how to play this game? And of course, I went down, and Dr. Dingman gave me his approval because he's such a nice man and because he believes in kids and he believes in doing what serves kids. So I went down, and something about don't fall down or something. Maybe I'll look it up. I'll look it up. I'm sorry. Anyway, so this kid is going up and up. And by the way, there's all kinds of stuff stacked on each other. There's chairs. There's at one point you're in a bucket and you're trying to, and it's really funny because D is talking to me and he's like, you got to be really careful of that bucket because you can hook onto it, get in it, but then it's swinging. Right now we're talking about direction and velocity, but don't tell anybody that. And we're talking, and then you have to reach up at the right time, because if you don't reach up at the right time, let me just tell you, you fall down and there's a snake, and there's a big warning sign at the snake. Do not try to ride the snake, because the snake takes you all the way back to the beginning of the game. And I said to Dee, tell me what you love most about this game. Besides, like, it's hard enough, but not too hard, right? We're right in that lovely sweet spot that game-based learning does. It makes games hard enough that kids want to try it, or adults, but it makes it not too easy that it's just stupid, right? And I said, Dee, tell me, and I love this, because this is powerful. And he said, you know, this game helped me master my emotions. And by the way, I got his permission to tell the story, because I wouldn't tell stories without the permission of the people I'm telling him about, right? And he said, and I said, and I'm looking at this game thinking I would hurt myself. I don't know how. I said, how is this game teaching you to master your emotions? He said, you know, Tammy, this game is frustrating at times. And you can get past a certain part and you'll just fall down, right? Gravity will take you down to this section or that section. And he said, I've really learned when that happens to control my emotions, because even though I'm very frustrated and I could get angry, he said, you know, the truth is I think about it and think, you know what, this is just a game. And it occurs to me, wouldn't that be a powerful thing in our world to have something that taught us, you know what, we're all just here. It's just a game. Let's just do what you can with what you have where you are, right? So I want to just say to Dr. Jake Dingman from Oakdale, Washington, thank you for letting me live in my authentic world where I want to bring games into classrooms and engage kids to learn. I can't even tell you, it's been powerful for me. I have loved it. It has been awesome. It's been an awesome experience. And as it comes to an end next week, as I'm sad, I have to tell you, the learning for me has been powerful and allowing me to learn with kids, because the truth is it's not about the game, it's about the experience. And those experiences come and they're rich and they're fabulous. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. Thank you for listening to my stories. I have had the best time ever. Next time I will see you in February 2025. I am going to actually, what am I going to be? I am going to be talking about mind shift and why I think we're struggling to push and resonate with games in education, and how we can do some shifting of the way we think about things to solve that. So until then, I want to say thank you for joining me. I hope you have the very best end of your January ever, and goodbye.